Okay.
I keep picking the player that I want to win, and they keep losing, so there you go.
All right, well, the game is loaded. Have lots of fun, Roddy and Nate. Let's jump into it.
Thanks, Sean. Gonna have so much fun, Kev. Finally get to do a series with you, and not only that, it's two Dutchies. We got TvP. Starting off on Dust Towers in the bottom left, of course, we have uThermal, the last Terran standing.
Sick keyboard, by the way. Orange with a Dutch flag in the middle. Red, white, and blue, baby. I love that keyboard. And he's already bringing out a little bit of that early aggression, as we see in STV. Make his way across the map. But of course, we have to introduce this man as well. Spawning on the right top side of Dusk Towers. He's representing Invasion Gaming. It is. He's Harstem. I was completely confused. Invasion Esports.
Wow,
Harstem
smart boys. Check for proxies. He's going to run right into this barracks. Insta-tilt. In my experience, at least. Well, you know what? At least he wasn't mining the gas yet, right? So he could, like, if he really wanted to, he could cancel it. But now this actually just turns into a gas first build. It actually just becomes a straight up 1-1-1 off one base now.
Yeah, it's almost good for uThermal that it got scouted this early. Like, obviously, this is not good. This is not how you want to start.
You wouldn't want that
off.
to get scouted when the barracks is halfway down.
Exactly, that's even worse, because then your STV can't finish the barracks, the probe will be harassing it. That puts you behind even further, but this is an unfortunate start. And this is also Harstem saying to uThermal, hey, I know your tricks, mate.
Yeah, it's definitely a good way for him to set himself up at the start of the game, as uThermal, of course, known for that aggressive play. Going for the low ground nexus, as that STV is there. So maybe he's trying to bait him into thinking, hey, I'm doing some sort of really weird counterattack or like kind of cheesy play because I expect your production to be late.
You know, I still don't really like that from Harstem. On one hand, I understand it because you don't want your nexus to be blocked and stuff, but when you take your first base there, it takes a lot longer for the probes that you build in the main base to make it towards that low ground. So your rally point is a little bit further away. And I think just overall, it can be a little bit uncomfortable to defend against certain things, especially if uThermal will do that push that Todd was talking about with a bunch of Marines and Cyclones. It can be very annoying if he throws down one scan and he locks on two pylons or something, but we'll see how this game plays out. I have no idea yet about the follow-up.
Yeah, it's just interesting to note that the way his gas was set up, he could have gone for a very fast factory, but choosing instead to go for the quick reactor, this is something that a lot of players have been doing, in especially the Korean meta. A lot of players have been skipping out on that Reaper. We've already seen a lot of Terrans do that today. I think players like TY and Beyond, after looking, or in Innovation especially, like if you look at their match histories, they're all kind of doing this setup. They go for that two-base sort of play, where they'll get the second gas after the factory, and we do see the second gas from uThermal. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him either go for a really fast Widowmine medevac or really fast Cyclone with a delayed starport. And if he does want to do that Cyclone Marine push, as you've suggested, then we should see him immediately get that tech lab. And if he goes for a starport, he won't be able to afford to build anything for a while because the Cyclone does take so much gas.
There's a chance that Harstem, by the way, goes for a two-base all-in here, where he drops 6 or 7 more gates, and then he just goes for a War Prism with depth all-in.
I mean, it looks like it, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a very strong build. Mana did it against Marine Lord at Homestory Cup, and then I was like, hey, this build's really cool. I'm going to try it a couple times, and I beat a couple Terran plays with it that I'm not supposed to beat. Let's just keep it at that. But this is a very good scout here. This SUV is going to scout the Twilight Council. It's going to see the robotics facilities around. It saw the first extra gateways go down, so it's an important tell. Will Harstem take any additional gases or not? Look how late this Mothership Core is, by the way. I think he's going to throw down like 5 more gates and just go for it.
Yeah, I wouldn't find that too surprising at this point. I mean, we've seen that Adept play be so strong, and he does go for the follow-up, as far as we see the War Prism, the Resonating Glaives for the Adepts, but also on the other side, we have that straight up 1-1-1. He's got the Cyclone coming out. And this gets where things get a little bit weird, right? Because he's already taken that low ground position, and I love that he followed this up with a siege tank. He's in a spot where he already has pylons in place to defend the front point where you would attack. And with that War Prism, depending on how quickly it goes to the other side of the map, if he has that Cyclone out on the field, he's going to be in for a world of hurt. There is not much of anything inside of uThermal's base to defend an attack.
Nope. This is very interesting because it's like a mix. This is a very quick Adept upgrade. He's still going to be able to harass with it as well, but at the same time, he's going up to 3 bases. You said it, he does have the pylons here, but Cyclones can just lock on these pylons, and the pylons are not that far forward that they can actually do anything.
Yeah, I think the thing is, this tells Harstem, hey, my Cyclone's not even in my base right now. So at most, he's got that tank, which I still think is going to be hard to do it all on its own.
The adapts are going to do a lot of damage in the main base, don't get me wrong, but now there is not a single pylon connected to this Nexus here. The other, so that's slow warp-ins on the low ground. He needs to warp in the main. Let's take a look at that Prism, because it has to be pretty much in the main base right now, right there. There we go. And this is going to be painful, like you said. There is nothing in the back of the natural here for uThermal.
And this is the biggest thing, is he can just shut down this expansion. If he teleports onto the tank, he can kill all of the Marines that are near there as well. And really, it just comes down to waiting for those extra, like those 5 or so depths that he has. If he wants to go up to more, he's still got it in the bag. But this is what makes this play so strong, is uThermal can't move his units like that out on the map in the early game without taking a catastrophic amount of damage from a War Prism counterplay.
And why did the Marines and Cyclones just stop over here? Was he were there too many adapts? 4 or 5? Okay, he's waiting perhaps for the first Liberator.
He still wants to keep putting the pressure on. He's hoping this Liberator pulls a bunch of units back up to the main or the natural. But, I mean, Harstem is just doing what he does, man. Any good Protoss is going to set themselves up like this. The pylons are already placed to stop any sort of liberation in the main base, excuse me. No pylons on the natural yet, but those stalkers are chasing him.
Can he use the magic spot here?
There's no, it doesn't work. That particular, there's like one weird spot that's really hard to hit with like corrosive bile, but otherwise, like, he doesn't have a liberation range upgrade or 2 liberators, so like he can't do anything super fancy with it aside from trying to be annoying.
He should be able to easily see the high ground vision. Yeah, there we go. Let's go to reposition the Liberator. He still has these Marines. It's kind of weird
that 4 probe kills aren't that bad too.
He's still down 15 workers in a base though.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
trying
to find the bright side here, Kev.
I think he needs a little more than 4 probe kills. Like 4 probe kills is nice, but if you're down 15 workers and a base and you don't have stim yet and there is no real strong follow-up, this is kind of nice. This is a nice little spot. Very annoying to engage. A lot of lost mining time.
His pylon blocks his pathing to actually go there and deal with the Liberator from that angle, which is actually very smart.
Now he needs good job there. uThermal is starting to find some room now, and I feel like it's kind of piling up. Now there's another Liberator here, and this actually works against Harstem. He needs to Photon Overcharge, but now he can't Photon Overcharge here, so this actually is starting to get a little painful.
Yeah, and I think that one of the bigger things here, I don't know where exactly that War Prism is right now, but he's been dealing with this pressure so much. I don't know why it went all the way back home, but this is a situation where he could have also been trying to counterattack at the same time. Like, uThermal's in a great spot because he's actually doing some damage. He's putting pressure on. Of course, keep in mind that it's still on the 2-base economy right now, but the 3rd is ready.
Yeah, exactly.
So you'll still have to turn it into an orbital, but if you're keeping the Protoss focused on their own base, which is rarely what we see, for the most part these days, you're giving yourself a massive advantage. I feel like the Protoss side of things falls apart very fast because they need to do this damage to survive into the mid-late game.
I kind of think that Harstem just had enough of that harassment. I think he's just going to go for it. He's trying to hide his army for now. He doesn't want these Marines to see it, but I think these Marines, that Stalker is a little bit of a tell. But what do? You make multiple bunkers? Is that the right way to do it? It's actually very annoying. He doesn't have a pylon in range, so.
I mean, I do like bunkers. We've seen a lot of Terran players, like Marine Lord especially, will just kind of forego getting a lot of medevacs early, but it doesn't seem like he has a. Yeah, I mean, he could. I feel like Liberators early on to help defend pushes like this are really important. But
Harstem is making a forge during all of this. So, and now I love that Liberator position there again.
He's just being so damn annoying with that.
Look at the kills. 16 kills, 17 kills on that bad boy. Harstem really had enough. I think he's just going to try to go for it here, but it's a little risky, man. There are multiple tanks.
I love these tanks. These tanks are so nice to have. You can use them to basically draw all the attention of the Stalkers. Wow. And they actually do deal well. Those adepts, as tough as they are versus Bio, they clump up so well. And these tanks can still do reasonable damage. The War Prism goes into the main, but there's still a tank there as well. So it just comes down to focusing SCVs. And now the worker count, 49 to 52. Suddenly we're in a, we got a ball game on our hands.
Yep, and there isn't really a very scary follow-up available here for Harstem. There's not a Templar Archives yet. Storm is like light years away. There's no Colossus, which is a little bit uncommon these days, but there's no Disruptor. He is going to drop the Templar Archives after all. Doesn't have the 5th and 6th gas yet. Only starts +1 armor. Yeah, I kind of like this for uThermal, because I kind of feel that if uThermal starts dropping now like crazy, I'm not sure how many observers we have. He even threw down a scan, I think, to see if there is an observer in that position. Because normally, or maybe to see if there's a 4th base, but I think also 4 and ops, like both works. So
I think one of the best things about the way this game played out is actually that uThermal was forced to lift his natural off so early, because he had the third area secured with the wall. Yeah. That really helps versus adepts, and that alone having that spot secured so early, he was able to take his natural as his third with no pressure really stopping him.
I mean, that for sure, but at the same time, he still did a lot with the harass. And like,
Yeah,
that definitely
I agree.
changed the game upside down. Like 17, 18 kills on the Liberator, that's so massive.
Yeah, I do completely agree in that regard as well. I'm very used to seeing the Protoss able to stay a base ahead of Terran these days. But the way that this game started out actually gave a pretty good economic hand to uThermal, even though Harstem's third base was so fast. But that also comes down to, like you said, the harass that he was able to
Yeah,
put on.
it's definitely the harassment and the amount of kills and how busy he kept Harstem and delaying the push a little bit in the middle of the map. And now we're starting to look at a pretty damn scary army. But
I like this. I love this setup. The Marine tank style is something that I think hasn't been really explored too much. But some other guys, like I think it might have been Bjorn or TY especially, kind of busted it out a little bit recently. And it is very, very strong if you use those tanks to zone away the High Templar.
How many High Templars do we currently have? He has got 4, so he's going to be able to have multiple storms. I mean, tanks are good, especially when there are no charge loads. I think that's the one unit that really messes a lot with the tank. And other than the Immortal, but Immortal needs to get in range. And when there are this many Marines, it's not easy. I love what Harstem is doing over here with the adapts. He's just carrying the army. He's buying time. He wants more storms, and he's going to be able to get more storms this way.
Yep, he's already got that upgrade research, as our wonderful observer Funka is pointing out to us.
2-1 upgrade. Is that 2-1? No, 1-1 actually. Still. 1-1 against 1-0. That's actually
mech
nice.
upgrades are actually very important for this
Tanks on the low
too,
ground?
if he sticks with this. And I love this position. The tanks on the low ground. If he tries to teleport anything over there, like this fourth base is going to go down no matter what. This is a really, really nice spot to be in. uThermal's actually going to go in and take the engagement. Just needs to be careful about storms. If he focus fires down those Templar with the scan on those tanks, he could get a lot of work done here. Of course, those Marines are still very flimsy, and he does land a couple of really solid storms.
I don't really like this engagement, though, by Harstem. It feels like it's so hard for the Immortals to get a good position on these tanks. And there we go. Most of the Immortals have been taken out. I think uThermal is just going to take game number 1 over here.
GG.
Wow.
Very nice Marine tank push. You know, that style is something that has not been talked about too much recently. Oh, he is uThermal.
The man with the sickest keyboard in Leipzig.
Suddenly I want a US flag keyboard, man. I'm suddenly really jealous.
I think it would be hard. Actually, I spoke with uThermal about it. He said he copied it from another Dutch player, but I forgot his name, so sorry, I can't give that guy a shout out. He's going up against the other Dutchie here, spawning on the right side of the map. He's, of course, our Blue Protoss. It is Harstem, also known as Kevin the Koning, Kev the King. The year of Harstem, always listening to One Direction and Miley Cyrus.
It's upbeat. It's fast-paced, you know. So on this map, we can see that Harstem has gone for the pretty much longest scout path possible, going for the bottom right and bottom left. These 4-player maps can make things a bit tricky, I guess, but at least we won't have to worry about a proxy racks outside his base.
No, that would be very weird on Ruins of Saras. That's the moment where you watch the replay and you wonder why your opponent knew that you spawned there.
What is this? Hey, man, just got lucky, you know?
Yes. Some people are really sick gamblers. Like in the past, they'd be like, you know, I'm just going to build my Stargate there. There is a 66% chance that I'm on the right side of the map, so that's good enough for me. You know, they used to do it on Metalopolis or on Iron Fortress. You know, you spawn top side, you just proxy bottom.
Yeah, that sort of stuff was always crazy.
It's like, yeah, 2 out of 3 chance. It's really good. It's like, yeah, but what if your opponent is like on the other side of the map? It's like, well,
we saw that on Whirlwind all the time too. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, my Oracle actually pops out further away from your base than my main.
But then at the same time, it's like an anti-timing that could still work.
Yeah, because they weren't expecting it to hit so late. It's just like, oh yeah, Oracle hits by this time. It's not here.
Cool.
Let's go for a walk. Oracle shows up. It's like, God damn it.
All right, command center down. A pretty quick factory again as a follow-up over here for uThermal. That's the second game in a row, by the way. He's able to tuck away and has to be in the corner. We saw Harstem look for it on Dust Towers, but he didn't find it. He thought it was still in the back of his natural, the pocket expand, so to speak.
He's a high-level espionage agent, that SCV in the corner.
Solid snake.
Yeah, man. It makes me think about the days when they had like the party hats on the workers, and they were like, "This makes it harder to hide my probe, damn it!"
It's like you hide your worker behind a little bush, and there's like a party hat sticking out.
That's what I want for this map, man. I want a camo. I want a camo skin for my SCV scouts, so it's harder for them to see them. Like if they play with no health bars or something.
Is there a mothership core already? Or no?
No,
So
no.
pretty greedy openings over here. Like more Protoss players started to delay their mothership core further and further. I think it could be rather annoying to deal with Reapers. Like
These really fast Adept Oracle builds were also still super popular in the beta phase of the game too, before we saw the big changes to the Photon Overcharge spell. So I still think that it's got a place. It can have a solid role because it will still hit fast enough that even 2-base Cyclone won't be in a position to deal with it. And 1v1, if the Marines aren't nearby, if you split them between the bases, the Oracle will actually kill the Cyclone in a head-to-head fight. So
oh, is he going to be able to spot the Stargate? That would be a very big spot here. Actually, he does. Maybe he already did.
Yeah, his eBay is already halfway done. So
yeah, I guess he already saw it, but now he will be able to see whether it's a Phoenix or an Oracle in production, and now he saw that it was an Oracle. That should help. He also saw multiple Adepts chasing his SUV, and that might actually ring a bell. It's like, hey, why do you have 3 Adepts this early, you know? So I think that uThermal has a good idea of what's going on. Maybe, well, very quick third base there, 4 minutes.
This is the Protoss thing to do right now. Most of the Terran players in this situation are just thinking, how do I go for the counterplay when he might have pylons there? But uThermal has shown no fear in the face of danger.
I mean, this is something. Yeah, this is something we were talking about. Missile turrets are ready in both mineral lines. The Adept should, or excuse me, the Oracle should still be able to find an opening somewhere to get 1, maybe 2 SUVs, but not a whole lot more. Or he's actually just going to save it. He doesn't see any Marines over here. He's like, I'm probably going to need the energy defensively.
On this map especially, I mean, he's third base because I feel like he could actually force the deny on that. He has another Cyclone on the way.
He's going to see it now. He locks up on at least 1 pylon. He gets the Marine there, all these Adepts, and the Oracle's coming in as well. I think he's going to let it finish. No, he doesn't let it finish just yet.
Yeah, it's tense, but honestly, like,
I don't understand that scan, by the way.
I guess he just wanted to be sure how much was waiting up there for him. I don't know.
All right, this time the Adepts are coming in for real. There is a second Cyclone as well, though.
This is really nice.
Oh, that's so smart, by the way. Well, he didn't let you finish again. I love it how he used an Adept that was about to teleport to like soak up one of these auto locks. I think.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, he only needs 2 auto locks to actually finish off this
next. Oh, the Oracle
distance.
gets locked up on, and the scan is still active. Oh,
really
that's a big
nice.
loss.
It's one of the best things about the scan, of course. The Cyclone's attack range is much longer than its vision, so once you lock on, if you can just keep the vision, you can keep killing. And this is a phenomenal bit of pressure coming out of uThermal. I've not seen too many things like this.
Harstem is actually in a lot of trouble. This is exactly the build that Johan was talking about multiple times in the early game.
Want to be greedy?
Yeah, it's a double Cyclone and a lot of Marines. And like, what do you do now? Nothing. GG. Wow, uThermal goes up 2-0. So sick.
That was really, really clean, well done, and I think worked super well focused on the Cyclone. I think he could have cleaned up the first push, so.
I agree. I'm with you as well. I think he waited too long, and then slowly this Terran army became a lot stronger. No matter how we look at it, though, this man is suddenly up 2-0 in the round of 16 as we are loaded into Arena. Is he going to be able to go for the clean sweep? It is uThermal.
Yeah, bringing a whole lot of freedom to this DreamHack with that this cute Liberator play in game 1 as well to secure himself that massive advantage against our Protoss player in the bottom left, Harstem.
I mean, he's Dutch. Of course he's bringing freedom there.
Yeah. I mean, technically Harstem is also Dutch.
I know. It's great.
You know,
great country.
I'll tell you what, Kev. I'll tell you what. I've been talking a lot to all the wonderful folk that have been watching the stream online, and a lot of people were hoping that someone would carry the Terran banner for them. No, uThermal's making a lot of fans here if he can win this match, I'd say. I
mean, uThermal is a player that had a couple of great runs in the past. You know, if you haven't followed StarCraft in a while, or 2015 wasn't the year you followed everything closely, there was one Intel Extreme Masters qualifier where uThermal had an all-star performance. He beat Lilbao, he beat he beat Harstem, he beat Snoot, and he beat Bunny. Like, those were the 4 best Europeans pretty much in that moment, and he took them out all 4, and he qualified for the Intel Extreme Masters Shenzhen. Like, uThermal has had moments in 2015 where he looked like an absolute champ, but then at the same time he also had a couple of disappointing results. But most of the Europeans, they'll always tell you uThermal is a top-notch Terran player at the moment.
Very interesting build order here out of uThermal, the gas racks gas. There's a couple different ways you can follow this up. Of course, it's going to be a factory to some extent, but there are some really fast Cyclone rushes you can do. I think, from what I've heard about players like uThermal, he prefers to go for the tank Liberator push as well, which is also very, very strong on this map.
You know what the best thing against it is?
We had this conversation already.
Yes.
Just tell the folks at home, Kev.
Tempest. I'm a believer again, Nate. I'm a believer of the Tempest again. I think on this map
Wouldn't you
in
say
particular...
isn't it already too late to go for Tempest?
Yeah, it's hard when you actually go for the expand. I think this is a map where, as a Pro Tools, you don't have to expand this early because you know that the Terran isn't doing the same thing on the other side of the map. Like, you're not forced to do this. And I feel like when you do this exact build, one gate, fast expand, you follow up by Robo, I feel like you're just begging your opponent to go for tanks and liberators of one base, and it's so hard to defend it. Like, I find it very, very, very difficult. And I really think that, like, one base Stargate is phenomenal on this map. But that's just me.
Don't tell the people at home that, Kev.
Well, I'm sure we're going to see it in the future.
You're going to lose me my TvP games on this map.
We're going to see a couple of, you know, Protoss win another SSL by making one base Tempest. Don't worry about it, Nate. It's coming, especially on this map, Arena. On the other maps, I'm not too sure, but Arena, I truly believe in the Tempest. I think it's a very good unit on this map.
When I see maps like this, it just reminds me of how horrified I was with the Tempest's ability in the beta to insta-kill and to guarantee a kill on anything.
Back then, like, I remember we had a game in the beta where the Cyclones were a little bit stronger than they currently are.
Wow. Give me 200 health and 1,000 damage on lock-on without an upgrade that was pretty balanced to me, man.
Yeah. I remember you trying to defend that one. I was like, I'm sorry, mate, I'm not feeling it. Like, I think this
even I got bored of playing Mass Cyclone TvT. It's basically a game of who could macro better.
Anyway, we already see this is starting to shape up a little bit. You know, uThermal is going to follow this up with a tank. He's going to try to do a little bit of medevac aggression and probably follow it up with tank liberator one base. And it's so good against everything that Harstem is doing. Now, we should, of course, focus on what can Harstem do. First of all, not take damage against this drop. That's very, very important. And then I think maybe an Immortal and a couple of gateway units. Like, I think that's the best choice. He's dropping a Stargate now. That I find very interesting. Oh, the Widowmine.
Oh, that could have been...
not going to shoot.
Could have been a nice shot, of course. Widowmine's still very, very good in these situations. I think the reason why you don't see them used as much is because Adepts can kill them quite fast, but he's locked down this ramp position to some extent.
It's very nice, though, because he has an Observer, and the Widowmine was so low on HP that actually I think he would have been able to kill it before it shot. Anyway, uThermal doesn't just really want to lose units. He's just going to start a contain already. I don't understand the Stargate now. I feel it's too late, but that's just me.
And now he's letting him get this setup. He's got the Widowmine here by the tank. He's building a bunker. And there's only one pylon here. By the time the other one's done, this one will almost be done itself.
Silver lining here, I don't think uThermal has to die trying to keep this Nexus alive. What if he goes up to... He's making a Void Ray, but what if he would have gone up to Tempest? I know he doesn't have gas for it now, but maybe eventually. Like, then it's one base against one base. I just think, like, you don't want to lose all your units. You don't want to lose the game trying to keep this Nexus alive against a one-base Terran.
Yeah, I don't really think it's worth it, particularly myself. And now he's got the Liberator starting to push forward. And honestly, I think this is the part where the Terran's got the Protoss in their chokehold. This build is so strong on this map.
We've seen it so many times, and it's particularly strong against everything that Harstem is doing. You know, Harstem is doing the most standard Protoss build order there is, and uThermal is like, cool, I've got a build that's very good against this.
It really doesn't seem like Harstem played this game against his opponent or against the map, to be honest.
No, I agree with you.
This is a pretty sloppy game coming out of him. The Void Ray does get picked off. The Liberator's going to help kill this Immortal. It'll never get close to the siege tanks, and he's pretty much does everything. GG, uThermal takes the 3-0. And advances on the lone Terran.
Very convincing victory here by uThermal.